Top of the top. How you guys doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Happy New Year to those of you that let me slow this down a little bit. Happy New Year's to you guys out there. Hopefully you've had a great start to this new year. Wanted to go over today's market update. Going forward, I'm really only going to have a market update when I feel like there are reports that are applicable to the residential housing market so that we can keep you all abreast of information that I believe that you need to know to make a great decision on buying, selling, or refinancing residential real estate. That's one, two, three, or four units anywhere here in these United States. Okay. So, with that being said, as you can see, the rundown today, we're going to be talking about the construction spending report. And I believe that's pertinent to help you all forecast where the ball is going as it pertains to when you might want to enter in, get on the property ladder coming into house buying season for 2024. And in my professional opinion, that really starts here in a couple of weeks. You'll start seeing more listings. Traditionally, that's what happens up through May. Hopefully, we see more inventory. And we'll talk about, or we'll use Texas, the Bay State, to paint a picture of inventory and how you need to look at that in your local market. And then we'll talk about some programs as we round up. Okay. So my goal is to get out of here before 1 o'clock, 12:45-ish. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please express yourself. It's 2024, right? You guys got to learn how to express yourself. And if I don't know the answer, I will get back. And if I don't answer live, I'll respond afterwards, right? So let's look at the reports, if you will, for this week. Okay, so Monday, obviously, New Year's Day. Today, the report that we're concerned with is the construction spending. And then going forward, I think anytime any one of the Fed presidents speaks, that's a market moving event that could sway the range of interest rates anyway, positive or negative or higher or lower. But more importantly, anytime we're dealing with jobs, we want to keep an eye on that. Okay. ADP, employment, jobless claims, market movers as far as we're concerned, and then the unemployment reports. Another thing I'll say about a lot of these reports, we also want to pay attention to the revisions, and I'll try to do a good job of pointing that out because a lot of this data is trailing, and the following month, a lot of times we have revisions and things of that nature. You'll see that here in just a moment when I show you my guy, Rick Santelli, CNBC. He's going to give us the report as far as construction spending is concerned. And initially, it seems like it's a negative. It looks like it's a miss because 0.6% is what was expected, but it did come in lower. But last month's, okay, this is going to be the prior month's report was revised and it was higher. So without further ado, let's see what Rick has to tell us.
Welcome back to Squawk on the Street. Rick Santelli here live at CME HQ with the second bit of breaking news for 2024 on the economy. This is S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. That was already out, so now it's construction spending for the month of November. Expected up 0.6%. Disappoints up 0.4%. But in the rearview mirror, a significant revision from up 0.6 to up 1.2. We see that interest rates are up for the first session, and we want to pay particularly close attention to the notion that 10-year note yields closed unchanged on the year, so up 4 basis points is very similar to the first couple of trading days of last year on the same.
So there, as you can see, there was a revision. Again, this month's report missed, but it was revised for the prior month at 1.2%. So blew the prior month's expectation out of the water. So long story short, construction spending is higher. Why is that important? Because we're in an inventory shortfall. Okay. You may hear people online saying that there's a surplus of new home construction, things of that nature. Again, there is a shortage. I'll show you here in a minute as we go through the update. But leading indicator, okay, these folks, what folks? Builders, people that build things to sell for a living, probably won't be out uh, investing in infrastructure uh, if they did not think the tide was turning. The tide, in my opinion, turned the last Fed meeting when Chair Powell said that there was going to be a pause. They're slowing down. Although he did say, hey, if things change, we could increase the Fed funds rate. But what that did for the marketplace, and the marketplace meaning all of us that are in business that are affected by these things, it gives some stability, some calmness so that people can make decisions. So again, missed the mark for this month's spending report, but it was revised. October's was revised upwards big time. So the trend is your friend, right? Is going in the right direction. So with that said, let's look at the 10-year. Something that I want you guys to be comfortable with looking at. Uh, the U.S. 10-year Treasury note, and anytime it's below 4%, typically bodes well for mortgage rates, right? And things of that nature. So, unlike the Fed funds rate, it's not a one-to-one correlation like cars, credit cards, student loans. When the Fed fund rate changes, those things are immediately are one-to-one ratio as far as an increase is concerned. But this is a good indicator to watch for mortgage rates. And then more importantly, the relationship between the 10-year and the 2-year, the spread between those. Won't get too technical, but here's the deal. Don't like to talk about rates too much because depending on where you are, what loan type you're doing, the loan size, i.e., the down payment that you're putting down, and your credit score, and the day that you lock, all of those variables come into play. But just from a 10,000 foot view, just keep in mind anything under 4% as far as this 10-year Treasury is concerned is a good thing. And when you look at ranges, it's probably not until we get down below 3.2% on this 10-year is when you'll see rates dip down into the 5% range. So, um, you know, 5.75, anything under 3.2 on the 10-year will get below 5.75, somewhere in there. But again, this is a good metrics for you to watch. Okay. Now, with that said, when you um, look at rates, let's see here. I went to Zillow here. A lot of these online places where you're tracking rates, we got to keep a couple of things in mind. It's an average. Typically, their rates are quoted in the rears. I mean, it might be 2-3 weeks behind where you are currently today. A lot of times you have to look at the structure of how they made the rates. I mean, a lot of times it's 20% down, better credit scores, and things of that nature. But for the most part, the reason I don't quote rates is because I don't know what your APR is. If you don't know, difference between interest rate and APR are the cost. There's certain costs that will show up on a loan estimate that are actually cost for you to get said monies. Okay. And so when you look at the APR interest rate, the difference is that annual cost. That's what it is. But I like showing this page because it gives an APR. And so it gives you guys an idea. But said all that to say you want to reach out to the lender that you know, like, and trust to properly qualify, and then you'll know what your numbers are. Okay. But that said, just, as of today, you can see the range. Well qualified folks, 30-year fixed is typically what folks are going to do. 6.23%, right? You could go a little more granular. If you look at government loans, well qualified folks, in the fives with the APR, there's considerable cost here. So there's probably points and something of that nature involved with getting that rate. But point is, low sixes is where you are. potentially high fives as of today, right? Now, when we look more granular, focus in so that you could get a big picture out. This chart is in the description, but this is from the National Association of Realtors, and this is a housing shortage tracker. And the point I want to make with this is it covers 174 metropolitan areas. Okay, so every area is not represented here on this chart, but again, you can see a trend of what's going on. And long story short, here's the deal. I'm looking for uh, need for more permits, housing shortage, or high housing shortage, okay, are represented by these colors. And then what you need to know is when it says single here, right, select the number of units for a permit. I'm talking about single family homes, okay, 1 to 4 units. That's a single family residence. Anything above that is commercial. So if you go in here, right, we're looking at Texas. Okay, let's zoom down a little bit. And so if you see the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they're telling you there's a need for more permits. And the reason why is this is based on historical averages. So this is from September 2023, right? Going back, but they're saying for every one permit issue, right? Or there should be a permit to build a single family residence for every 2 new jobs. So what I like to explain and train people to do is buying homes is simply a job story, employment, right? Here's the matrination. Typically with us as humans, you date, you mate, you procreate, right? And then you look for a place to habitate, create a home, right? Typically when you have children and things of that nature. Traditionally, that's called household formation, and that's done traditionally when you look at an average about 33 years of age. Stick with me, I'm going somewhere. So when you look at just Texas as a snapshot, and this is nationwide, you can look at some other places, but I'm looking at Texas. I've heard a narrative that, San Antonio in this MSA, even over in Houston and in Austin, right? The prices are down, and that's a negative thing. Well, no, it's not a negative thing. It's a correction. And that correction is as a result of more inventory coming online. Ties back into the construction report that we're seeing, right? They're building more homes. And so here's the thing with a home, depending on who it is, right? If you got these professional builders that have all the systems in place, let's say 6 months. It takes 6 months to build. So it takes time to put these homes online. Okay. So the buildup in inventory in these places, right? There's a lot of jobs. Okay. So you got jobs, meaning people can afford homes. Okay. And so they're building them, they're bringing them online. And so more inventory has caused a change, a correction in prices, because that's what you need, more supply. Now, I'm not saying that the supply is to the point where there's going to be a big drop, but if you look at numbers year over year, for a lot of people, they still say, man, these prices are too high. I would challenge you to do some more research and to get on the property ladder sooner, because that's going to be the case for a long time, because there's simply not enough inventory. I digress. So when we look, just to make this a little easier, and I say, hey, let's look at the places that need more permits because there's a lot of jobs. Anybody in the state of Texas will tell you, if you look at these areas, there's jobs, okay? Jobs, people, dating, mating, procreating, habitating, okay? So these are all good signs in that there will be more inventory coming on. We have to wait to see what that inventory does to lower prices. I'm of the opinion it's not going to do a lot because of the following story. Folks that are 33 years of age, some a little less, some a little older, but typically around that sweet spot, you got to look at generations, right? Generations every 15 years. So let's say they say that Gen X, I believe, Gen X, 1965 to 1980, that 15-year run. And I'm using this data from the Texas Real Estate Research Center. They have excellent information, but we're looking at single family building permit data for Texas, okay? And what I want to do is look granularly from an annual perspective with the concept or the mindset of generations. And let me paint this story quickly. 1965, right? Let's do the calculator. 1965 plus 15 is 1980, right? 1965 plus 33, 1998. Okay. So what this shows is the year, the numbers of units being built in Texas, the percentage change, right? The value, okay? Uh, and then the percentage change as far as the value is concerned. But look at these two numbers here. So when you go to 1998, those that started Gen X, 1965, they started hitting that household formation time frame in 1998. Pardon me, I'm going back. 1998. So prior to then, there were still under 100,000 homes being built. So what I'm saying to you guys is you got to look at the demographics, the number of people, and start looking at these numbers that way. Because there's no coincidence that these numbers started increasing. Why? Because you have that generation of folks starting to reach household formation age. They're dating, mating, procreating, habitating in their own homes, right? So you see in 1998 an increase, but then boom, look at that. 99, 2000, 2002, 3, 4, 5, every year. So 65, 66, 67, 68, every year you got more and more folks reaching that average household formation age. But look what happened. 2007, okay? And then boom, 2008. You always want to, you hear these folks talking about 2008, and you guys are waiting on 2008 for all of this inventory, all of this surplus to come so that prices will go down. Well, a couple of things, right? If you see here, I'm painting the picture from 1965 to 1980, starting in 1998, from if you were born in 65, you're starting to reach that sweet spot. And so that coupled with President Bush #2 and all of the housing initiatives, that's why you guys need to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I probably do a little too much, but I got some good information out there, good videos to give you some insight as to how these numbers work. Try to put a story behind the numbers. But everything was lined up for house buying. They had a lot of programs in place, and then the lending standards were very loose. You all have heard the stories. I started doing these in 2003. I came into this industry, and then in 2005, I was full time. But I started in 2003. So good times in here, right? And then boom, the stuff hit the fan. Well, look at the number of units. So you could just see over this run from 98, starting in 99 to 2007, a lot of homes being built, using Texas as a snapshot. Moreover, I'll show you that here in a minute. Then 2008 hit, boom, big decrease, okay? So my point is from 2008 really until 2014, the number of homes being produced fell off tremendously, fell off the chart. So that's why when I say that we're not in the same environment, we don't have as much surplus, these are the numbers to show you the data. It's not sensationalized. It's not somebody on YouTube trying to scare you know what out of you. Here's the numbers. So now, not only did the building fall off of the scale, but if you look at 1965 to 1980, you still had a lot of those folks that couldn't buy. Maybe they lost a job. For whatever reason, now they're on the sidelines. So you got pent up demand from this cohort. And then we hit the millennials, okay? 1981, 1995, 1996, wherever you want to, however you want to put it. But guess what? In 2013, that's where those folks, the millennials, start coming of age. You notice a trend? Hey, now they're building again. They build based upon population. Now you know. You see how these numbers went up again? But you still have the Gen Xers that didn't get in or were negatively affected because of the housing market crash. You had builders not building enough homes to keep up with those folks. And then the thing about the millennials is they're the largest group of people next to the baby boomers. Okay, baby boomers had a ton of folks. Millennials, you got more than them. Well, starting in 2013, you guys started reaching household formation. Okay, you see what I'm saying? And so you can see the building, the folks that do this for a living, they're building. But again, you got to realize it never caught back up to the shortage that was caused due to the great housing recession. Then around 2013, another thing that a lot of folks don't know that aren't in this business, we have something called Dodd-Frank qualified mortgages. So now not only do we have pent up demand from the prior generation, but now those that are buying now, you got to qualify. Income, assets, all of that, right? So that puts a lot of other folks out of the mix. Okay. But it was still gravy, it was still all gravy because rates were lower. So, point I'm trying to make with this data, and then you can look at it on a nationwide or where you are, ask your realtor, right, to give you this information so you can kind of get an idea as to what's going on. So now we had the demic, right? And we fell off again starting in 2022 as far as building is concerned. So when you hear folks talking about there's a shortage of homes, that's what it means. And then when we start seeing back to Texas, there's a lot of homes being built online because it takes time for the home to be built, not just from the permit start, but before you can move into it. Well, now because of the volatility and the interest rates and things of that nature. That's why what Jerome Powell said a month or so ago, saying that they were going to pause, this makes things easier for business to move forward and for folks to buy because most sellers are buyers again. Fun fact, folks that are 58 and over, more times than not, when they buy a house, more than 50% of the time, they're paying cash. So these rates don't affect them. So there's a lot of things that have been put in place to help you all with affordability. Anyone, millennials or Gen Xers or the Gen Zers, the younger ones that might be coming in, because I'm starting to see some of those. They got some young folks that's hitting it out the park, right? If you're looking for affordability, you need to capitalize on the environment that we're in. Again, a lot more new home construction coming online. And hopefully, here in a couple of weeks, we'll start seeing inventory increase with the natural change up from folks that own homes that have these lower rates. But I believe if we get down into the fives, a lot of those folks will pull the trigger. Okay. So you got to be ready. Said all that to say you have to be ready, right? So let's see here. I don't see anybody saying anything. What time am I on? Yeah, I'm good. Only gonna be on here a few more minutes. Let me check. Nobody over there. Okay. Yeah. So you have to be ready. See the QR code here? If you want to have a consultation to see if you're ready, click that QR code or hit the link in the description and schedule a consultation because that's going to be the theme of this year. Don't wait till you see everybody else going. It's too late because competition is going to be there when these rates come down, and hopefully they don't bring them down too quickly because then they'll create another problem. But it's not like buying a pair of shoes or going to Chick-fil-A. You have to be qualified properly. And long and short, a lot of you guys aren't where you think you are. Okay. Reach out to your lender, go through the process and properly qualify. Proof of income, proof of assets, looking at your credit, right? Understanding what it is that you want to do and have that plan of action, and then update those documents until the time that you contract on a home and close. That's the name of the game for 2024. Okay. So to that end, there's a couple of programs here, right? So let's see. Let's see here. No, we don't want to go there. Let's see here. We want to go here. So down payment assistance programs. I have my favorites for the state of Texas and then two nationwide programs, right? So TSHAC, Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation. Here's the deal, guys. Nothing's free. And if you get any of these DPAs, down payment assistance, the cost is in the rate. And there's some administrative fees. But with that said, if you don't have the monies, all of it, these programs fill that gap. They're the bridge. Okay. They don't take care of everything, but they take care of the bridge. That's what you have to understand. If you don't want to play, if you do not want to pay higher rates, then you have to come with your own down payment and closing costs. That's the way it is. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And that won't waste your time. Okay. So TSHAC, great program. Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation. They dictate what the interest rates are. And we do a lot of them and we know how to do them. Right. TDHCA, that's the State Housing Finance Agency. Okay. Again, there's some changes that have come about. And this is why I tell you folks all the time, don't wait, man. Don't wait. If you think you want to buy and you're ready, and what's that look like, Robert? If I think I want to buy the next 90 days, I'm ready to buy a house. Okay. You need to get on the calendar. You need to get with your lender that you know, like, and trust and get qualified and understand what your options are before you reach out to a realtor. Okay. And then those that work with me, that's another service that we offer. We have realtors that we could partner you with that know how to ask for seller concessions, because not everybody does. Okay. But if you need help with that, we can help you as well. But new changes to this program. I'm not going to bore you with it now. Matter of fact, check out the YouTube channel, subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping a video. I'm updating the best down payment assistance program here in the state of Texas, and I'm going to update the changes. But now we have some debt to income ratio maximums that we didn't have before. Okay. Neither one of those programs, the TSHAC nor the TDHCA, no longer are they offering mortgage credit certificates at this time. Okay. So don't assume things are going to be around forever, especially those of us here in the state of Texas. Folks are coming here, man. I get more applications and deals closed from people moving here than people from here. And that's I'm sounding an alarm to those that are here, because you know how it is. You take things for granted, but you can get a lot of home and some space under 300,000. So if you're from the mindset that, you know, you've been waiting since 2010, home prices aren't going back to 2010. They're not. So if you're going to buy, you need to get on that ladder, or you need to figure out a way to counteract the rent that you're going to be paying, so that your future self, if you get to whenever you get ready to stop working, your money has grown at a pace that you can maintain or at least keep your current standard of living, because that's what you're going to be dealing with. Okay. I digress. So that's TSHAC, right? Then for my veterans, man, what happened? What happened? Did we go offline? Yeah, hold on. Let me just do it like this. The devil is a lie. Let's do it like this. There's more one way to skin a cat. Well, we don't want to skin no cats, but you know what I'm saying. Texas Veteran Land Board. Any veteran that's going to be a resident of Texas, if you're coming here, this is applicable to you. If you're here and you're looking to buy and looking for a discounted rate, okay, reach out. We'll let you know what you have to do to qualify for that rate. But you can go up to $700 right here, $726,200, okay, to purchase a home. It's got to be your primary residence, right? And we can't use any other DPA programs with this. This is a government type sponsored program, so I can't use any other down payment assistance programs with this. But great program nonetheless, right? And so nationwide, don't want to forget my folks nationwide. Finally got a couple of programs, the One Plus, the Purchase Plus, right? Two great programs that you either have to be first-time home buyer at or beneath 80% of an area median income. We can get you some assistance in the form of a grant, 2%. Doesn't have to be paid back, okay? That's huge. The max purchase price is $350,000. Again, new changes as of J1. Last year, 2023, there was no private mortgage insurance that you as a buyer had to pay. This year, you do have to pay private mortgage insurance, but it's negligible, right? The costs are very, very, very minimal. But again, guys, got to pull the trigger, right? A lot of waiting causes you extra cost. Purchase Plus, you don't have to be at or beneath 80% of the area median income. You can go to the maximum conforming loan limit, right? Nationwide. There's some monies there for you to help you get into a home, right? Down payment or affordability is the key. So I think that's it, guys. I'm going to get back to it. I appreciate you. If you like these updates, let me know. Again, I'm only going to come on when I think it's something that's pertinent for those of you that are looking to buy. If you are looking to buy and you're in need of a lender, like I said, schedule a consultation. I keep messing that up right there. Schedule a consultation, free to talk. Let's see if we're a fit. We lend nationwide and just talked about some of the down payment assistance programs that we have. Some of them, we have several more. But we have to find out how you would fit with said programs because there's a lot of different guidelines and variables that go into play. So have a great day, guys. Go out, be productive. That's what I want to say. Go out, be productive. And it's 2024, man. What you waiting for? It's here for you. If you need help, reach out. Peace. Y'all be blessed.